What's up, everybody? Mike here, and welcome to the Game News of the Week. Kicking things off with Lords of the Fallen 2 announced its release year, so the devs, CI Games, has confirmed a sequel to Lords of the Fallen, a Souls-like action RPG developed by Hexworks. The announcement was not made through a trailer at Summer Games Fest, but via a press release that confirms the initial details. This news is, not too surprising and has been known for some time, as they hurried to announce the sequel when sales were favorable. But it's now we learn more details about it, basically. So as of right now, it's been confirmed that the sequel title will be scheduled to release in 2026. We'll have to wait and see. Additionally, it's been confirmed that the PC version will be published by Epic Games, meaning it will be exclusive to the Epic Games Store throughout its entire life cycle, as stated by the game's publisher, CI Games. It has also been revealed that it is being developed using Unreal Engine 5, the latest version of the engine owned by Epic Games, which the Lords of Fallen that came out last October used the same engine. And it will also come to PS5 and Xbox Series as well too. CI Games is going to handle the publishing on console versions, just not PC. Personally, I don't know if this is the best strategy to go, just because a lot more people use Steam for their PC gaming and to buy PC games on rather than Epic Game Store. This may be a smart move in a short term, but maybe not the long term for the development team. Because you gotta understand, Epic is going to pay them a good flat rate, a good chunk of money for those exclusive rights on the PC version, basically. But long term, I don't know if this is gonna really work out for the company. We'll have to wait and see. We've seen this happen before with other games, other game companies, where it's either they took an exclusive deal, whether it was for like Sony PlayStation, or whether it was for Epic Game Store. Square Enix is a good example of that, with the remake, Episode 7 Remake and Rebirth not essentially hitting the sales margins they wanted for it, for example. So yeah, I don't know. Personally, I hate exclusives. I think it's kind of dumb. I know some people think it's good. That way it gives a platform a sort of incentive, hey, you got to play, support this platform in some way by getting the game on this platform, and it's only available there. Some people feel it's like, yeah, they're for that, and maybe that helps breathe competition, whatnot. But at the same time, it also hinders people from being able to play the game right away or even at all in some certain situations. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how this works out. Next up, Amazon Games has announced open beta and release date for Throne and Liberty. The open beta for Throne and Liberty will be available from July 18th to the 23rd, and it will be available on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. It will be offered to players in Europe, North America, South America, Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. The release date for Throne of Liberty is set for September 17th, later this year, and seems to be a spiritual successor to Lineage. If you don't know, Throne of Liberty will be a complete MMO with PvP and PvE content that will be focused on guilds where you will face evil enemies and use an ancient power to protect Silesium. Explore a dynamic open world, customize your character, and wield a diverse arsenal of weapons. Transform into creatures and engage in epic battles. Participate in PvP battles, castle sieges, and dungeons. And it's honestly great they're doing this. Some companies don't do open betas or betas in general, so I'm glad they're doing an open beta that's going to be available to everyone on all these platforms, PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. And this is going to offer players a preview of Throne of Liberty before the game's release. And then Space Marine 2 showcases its combat and gameplay mechanics in a new trailer. This is one of the games I'm very excited for. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 that's coming out later this year in September. And we just got a gameplay overview trailer released earlier this week. In this trailer, it goes into depth about showcasing all its modes in 6 minutes. You can argue this is perhaps the best successor to the Gears of War type of game, in a while, basically. Space Marine 2 will continue the story of the legendary Ultramarines, Lieutenant Demetrian Titus, 100 years after the events of the original Space Marine game. Fighting alone or with two friends in co-op mode, we will battle through the Tyrannid swarms in an exciting story mode. But that's just the beginning. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 will feature various PvE and PvP modes, which will expand over the months following its release. New maps, new operation missions, new enemies, and weapons. Space Marine 2 will have no microtransactions whatsoever. And of course, we'll have many free updates for all players along with a season pass that will include cosmetic items. All paid content will be optional and cosmetic, available through the Season Pass. There will be no premium currencies, in-game store, or microtransactions that are so common today and even in full-price games. So they could easily possibly bring more classes than what they originally confirmed, but as of right now, there'll be 6 classes: Tactical, Assault, Vanguard, Bastion, Sniper, and Heavy for PvE and PvP modes, along with a deep weapon and armor customization system. So awesome news there. I'm personally looking forward to this. I love Warhammer and Warhammer 40k. Love the different diversity of, games that are being made to include all, like, as much lore or even more lore and stuff like that from this universe. Next up, Dragon Quest III HD-2D Remake unveils new features, graphics, difficulty levels, and more. This was recently revealed, and the game will include 3 difficulty modes catering to every type of player. Additionally, Square Enix provided more information on other features that were not disclosed during the Nintendo Direct and will be available at its release on November 14th. It's wild to think that it's been 3 years since Square Enix first announced the remake of Dragon Quest III, but after a long silence, the company surprised us at the Nintendo Direct, confirming not only the release date but also remakes for the first 2 entries in the series. Among some of the highlights when it comes to the revealed news is the 2 exclusive graphics modes for PlayStation 5, 3 difficulty levels, and an autosave system. So when it comes to difficulty levels, you have the Draki Quest, which is easy, perfect for beginners with enemies that have less health and are more vulnerable. Then you have Dragon Quest, which is normal, the classic balance experience faithful to the original game's design. And then the third one, Draconian Quest, which is hard, a challenge for the brave with tougher enemies and lesser rewards. And as mentioned earlier, there'll be an autosave, so you never lose your progress. You can save any time as well, giving you freedom to save your game whenever needed. You have battle speed boost to make battles faster, more dynamic. NPCs remember conversations, enhancing immersion and continuity. When it comes to graphics modes, there is resolution mode for those who want the best resolution and spectacular detail. Second is performance mode, ideal if you prefer super smooth gameplay with the maximum FPS. With all these new features, though, the remake of Dragon Quest III promises to be a refreshed experience that both veterans and new players can enjoy. So, mark your calendars, guys, for November 14th and get ready for this reimagined epic adventure. And then lastly, guys, it's been a long time since we heard anything from Bluepoint, but apparently Demon's Souls remake developers are still working on original title. Not sure what's going on with this, but recently the Bluepoint has spoken about their new and highly anticipated unannounced project, confirming they are working on an original title. This came from Peter Dalton, head of technology at Bluepoint Games. If you don't know, Bluepoint Games was acquired by PlayStation Studios in 2021 after developing major remakes and remasters of acclaimed titles like Demon's Souls and Shadow of the Colossus. However, since the release of the remake of the precursor to Dark Souls, we haven't seen more about what the company is developing. At the time, it was said that Bluepoint Games was working on an original game, and today this has been reiterated. So, yeah, not too much else going on. I know there's been speculation that they could possibly be working on a Bloodborne remake or something like that, or even a Bloodborne sequel, but, nothing confirmed, nothing we know for sure. And don't get me wrong, I trust Bluepoint. These guys are freaking, like, wizards at what they do. And I argue that to this day, at least when it comes to a next-gen console game, Demon's Souls Remake, to me, is the best overall looking in terms of presentation and visual fidelity on the PS5. Like, it's the best, like, next-gen looking game on PS5. So we just gotta let them, cook, guys. I'll give more time. I imagine we'll hear something from them soon, maybe either announcement later this year, but honestly, I feel like it's gonna be next year we'll get some announcement. Personally, I would love it if maybe they would be working with, From Software on remaking Bloodborne or making a sequel, but Bloodborne is owned by Sony, and it's up to Sony and what they do with that. So, I don't know, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That's going to be it for the weekly gaming news here. Love to hear from you about what you think about this. Is there certain games you're excited for in what we talked about today? And make yourselves heard in the comments below when it comes to that. If you enjoyed this, please hit that thumbs up. As always, appreciated. My name is Mike. Thanks for watching.